Welcome. Happy Friday. Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. Legal, lawful, constitutional tender. A little thing we like to call wealth insurance. Talking about gold and silver, it is what we do, and quite honestly, it's not even really close. We do it better than anybody. 23 years in counting is how long we have been here, and I was just so happy it's Friday, and then Ramon rooted. So here it is, it's Friday. We got, you know what, I'll tell you this, we got a great jobs number today. Donald Trump is a genius. Now, he's a lot of other things. Let's not confuse it, okay? But he's a genius, and there's a lot of other things that go along with it. But, man, does he deserve some credit today, and I'm going to tell you all about it later. And we're getting ready. You know, the holidays are over, and Ramon says to me, after we're all excited about Friday, you know what next week is? And I'm like, and I didn't. I'm like, I don't know. What is it? Oh, we got to work 5 days. So back to the grind. So, yeah, for the first time in, well, at least a couple of weeks, 5 straight days of work. We'll be here every single day. By the way, quick update. We did our best. We tried hard. Monday, we will complete the shipping of the metals plant. So it couldn't happen. We're just, you know, with the holidays and not being here Monday, Tuesday. Wendy came in again yesterday. But here's the good news: they're ready. The ones that haven't shipped yet, they're ready. We just haven't gotten around to boxing them all up yet. But on Monday, we should have it all out. Everything out, done. Some of you already got your stuff. The rest of you, I promise, they are on the way. If you haven't signed up for the metals plan, I don't know what you're waiting for. Greatest plan out there. Nobody does it like us. You know, that's why we're better than everybody else. You know what? We don't play games. We don't bait and switch it. We don't, you know, advertise free reports and sell, you know, advertise products and then try to get you to buy something else and no boiler room, no outbound phone calls, no used car sales. We don't do any of that stuff. Treat you fairly. Listen, at the end of the day, we're going to make a couple bucks, but that's the key word, couple. Okay? We're not. There's no yachts and living behind gated fences and all that here. When you deal with us, and the metals plan is just another great example of why it is that we're different than everybody else. There's no fees. The only fee you pay is the shipping fee. The simplest thing in the world. You know, I guess I'll give you this example of why I think it's such a great way to go. Yesterday, had a friend in. He's retired. He is, and I'll say this, Brett. He is, you know, kind of like an extended family member, if you will. Recently has retired a couple of years ago. Was talking about his 401k, which is now an IRA. You know, because this is what happens when you retire, right? And he went and he did everything right? Went out, got his financial planner and all that stuff. And he was talking about how hard he got hit by Apple. And a lot of you realize now in your report, you can't avoid Apple. Right? Because it's in all the index funds. If you had, even if you did index funds like the Dow or the S&P or the NASDAQ, Apple is big in those funds. And they're so big because their market cap is ginormous. So you no matter how you do it, your portfolio has so much Apple in it, and he was telling me how much the hit that he's taken. And he's, and obviously, he's like, I don't know what to do. And, of course, I'm sitting there going, really? I wasn't, people get it or they don't. But Apple has lost 38%. And his brilliant genius financial planner didn't have any stop losses in there at a certain point. Hey, you know what? Hey, when it's down 10%, let's dump it. We'll wait for a bottom and we'll buy it back later. How about 20%? 30%? Nope. And we got to talking about how, hey, this wasn't supposed to be this way. And he was, he took it in stride because what else can you do? But he was talking about, I did what they told me to do. Right? I put my money in my 401k. I never touched it. I got the retirement age, and now I'm just riding the roller coaster that is Wall Street. And I said to her, I was like, you're not even supposed to be in stocks at your age. No offense. You're supposed to be buying CDs. You're supposed to be buying bonds. Remember, that was what they told you along with this 401k that they all were touting as the greatest thing on earth. But you know why he can't do it, right? Well, because the Fed funds rate is somewhere between 2.25% and 2.5%, right? So he can't get the return, and so all these genius financial planners got all of their money tied up, and they're just getting whacked out there. Not with our metals plan. Start with as little as $100 a month. You get 4 physical deliveries a year. It's a great way to go. Patriot Radio News Hour. When we get back, Fake News Friday, and then we'll get to the news of the day.
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the others? Before I finish my song.
From News Headquarters, this is
Fake
News
Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
What is real? How do you define real?
Fake News Friday.
Fake.
Going back, Patriot Radio News Hour. Happy Friday to all of you out there. Fake News Friday. I will tell you, I know we keep, it's coming. Changes are coming. I'm hopeful that next week, late next week, and maybe the following week, we're going to see another big improvement in the sound quality of this show for both Phoenix and Colorado. And I'm hopeful, we don't know, we're following up, we're waiting. The transmitter up in Colorado, we're just waiting on a part. As soon as that part comes in, we will be back up to full power, which should be another big change. So just as most of you know, we bought the radio station up in Colorado. We were able to do some repairs to the transmitter that got the power moving in the right direction. We're just waiting on the part to come back to us from Maine. Then we'll be back at full power. Obviously, you heard we picked up another advertiser. I hope all of you out there get out to the event at the end of the month and support the radio station. And obviously, it's just great community involvement up there as well. And we've got so many things planned. They're coming. All of them are coming, all in due time. We're getting closer and closer each and every day. But, of course, this is still the old version of Fake News Friday. We're working on it. I'm not promising, but I'm kind of promising. We're going to open this up to allow customers take a crack at taking one of us down and winning some gold and winning some silver. But until then, we're going to do it the old way. Ramon, are you ready?
I am indeed.
I have no. Who am I playing against?
You're playing against Jason.
Oh, Jason! I'm so glad to have you back. I don't want to play Brian anymore. I don't like it. First
Well, yeah, I'm going to do my
in
best
my
to carry on his winning tradition. I'm going to try to take you out today.
So, listen, I know you've been working really hard. By the way, you, Jason, an attaboy. He is the one, we got all the shows firing right now. The commercials are due. Jason's been the guy. You're doing a great job until I say otherwise.
Right.
If you lose today, I will continue to say what a great job you're doing.
Right, I'm running the radio station. I'm in the control room right now, so with a 1 minute delay in Colorado, I get to either hear myself lose twice or I get to hear myself win twice.
All right, Remote, let us have it.
Let us begin. Story number 1 for Fake News Friday. Vietnam has introduced a new cybersecurity law which criminalizes criticizing the government online and forces internet providers to give authorities user data when requested. The law, which mirrors China's internet rules, came into effect on January and forces internet providers to censor content deemed toxic. Vietnam's Ministry of Public Security said it will tackle hostile and reactionary forces, but human rights groups say it is authorities' latest method of silencing free speech. Story number 2. More people moved out of New Jersey in 2018 than any other state, according to new studies by United Van Lines. New Jersey, which topped the list of the most moved from states, was followed by Illinois, Connecticut, and New York. The Northeast region continues to see more residents leaving than moving in, with 57% of all moves within the Northeast U.S. being outbound moves, the company said. The study found that 66.8% of New Jersey moves were outbound. They were out of there. Story number 3. Apple has slashed its quarterly revenue forecast for the first time in more than 15 years. An unprecedented move by Tim Cook, prompted by the downturn in sales of iPhones in China. The surprise cut renews concerns about the waning demand for Apple iPhone, which makes up the vast share of its sales. It also raised fresh questions about Apple's prospects in China, the world's largest smartphone market, which represents nearly 20% of all Apple sales. An iPhone 10, cost the company about $340 to produce, but sells for over $1,000. Apple executives are considering cutting the pay of production workers at Foxconn to lower the cost of the phones. Foxconn employees currently make 30 cents an hour building the iPhones. The proposed wage cut is expected to be 15 cents per hour. That is story number 3. Who shall begin?
I think I lost last time, so I'll have Joe go first this time.
Ooh, little psychology. Okay, so let's recap because I get lost sometimes. So story number 3 is the Apple story.
Apple story?
Right. Story number 2.
People are out of New Jersey.
New Jersey, which if you've ever been to New Jersey, you want to leave. And then story number 1 was the Vietnam thing. And it's so funny. It's okay to censor Alex Jones's right to free speech, but if Vietnam does it, people get upset.
Correct. Human rights groups, of course.
Human rights people, I don't know, right there. Human rights groups people, probably not.
No.
I don't know. This is a tough one. I'm going to say this, first of all, and not to hammer the point, but Tim Cook is not Steve Jobs. And Apple stock still ain't done going down. That's just my opinion. But I'm going to say that I'm going to go with that story as being the fake story and just having to do with the Foxconn pay thing, because even in China, that seems kind of low to me. And, really when you think about it, isn't it disgusting? It cost them $340 to make it. They charge you $1,000. That's like when you buy gold from our competitors. The same thing happens. So I'm going with story number 3.
All right, Joe, for number 3. All right, Jason.
Well, I was wondering if Joe would go with a different one, but I actually agree with Joe. That's the one I was going to pick. Maybe I should have went first.
If you agree with me, that's not a good sign.
I agree with Joe on this one. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the second story tied no matter what. But I agree with Joe. Number 3.
You are both correct. Now, Joe, you pinpointed the portion of that story that was fake was the Foxconn. They are
I'm winning technically by
we didn't give Jason a chance, I guess, to clarify why he thought it was fake.
Well, he's just following my lead. He's riding my coattail.
So not to worry, the folks at Foxconn are making that big 30 cents an hour, so they're good. Round number 2. Story number 1, Chicago saw a significant drop in murders and gun violence for a second year in a row, according to police. Across the city, there were 100 fewer murders than 2017, when 650 people were killed. Overall, crime is down 10% since 2016, the year Chicago recorded its highest murder rate in 2 decades, with 762 people. Chicago police credit the drop in violence partly due to investments in data-driven policing and the creation of strategic decision support centers in 20 of the 22 cities' police districts, according to police news release. All right, that is story number 1. Story number 2. A new law goes into effect in Oregon that would allow people to harvest and eat roadkill. Lawmakers approved the measure in 2017, which states salvaging deer and elk struck by vehicles is legal in Oregon. About 20 other states allow people to take meat from animals killed by vehicles. In Oregon, people must complete and submit an application for the permit within 24 hours after salvaging the elk or deer. Antlers must be handed over to the state's wildlife agency. Now, here's the bummer part about it. Intentionally hitting a deer or elk in order to take the meat remains illegal, so there's no vehicular hunting for the elk or deer. Story number 3, newly sworn-in mayor of a town in Mexico's southern state of Oaxaca was on his way to his first official meeting at City Hall on Tuesday when he was killed by a group of gunmen, according to reports. Alejandro Santiago, a member of the National Regeneration Movement, had just taken office when he was attacked. Governor Murat promised a thorough investigation and said a suspect was already in custody. The governor blamed the violence, of course, on President Donald Trump and his immigration policies. The new mayor was a building contractor and was rumored to have voiced support for the wall between the U.S. and Mexico. So, Joe, would you like to go first, or shall you hand it over to Jason this time?
You know what? In fairness to Jason, I'm going to allow him to go first, so I can write.
That's fine. I'll go first. I think I got this one. My guess is going to be story number 1. I believe the murder rate went down. It's a factual story. I think the reason that it was policy inside the law enforcement. I think the reason it went down is probably because there's just a lot of people moving out of Illinois the same way they're moving out of New Jersey. So that's why I picked story number 1. I'm just glad I don't live there.
Yeah, no kidding.
They tax you on the way out. I know that. That's for sure. I was going to say, it's funny because I'm torn between 1 and 3 because I didn't see them give Donald Trump any credit because what happened at the end of 2016, that's right, Trump was elected and Obama got pushed out and the murder rate went down. I don't know. But I'm going to go a different way. First of all, in the roadkill, I did not know that was illegal to begin with.
In that state.
I didn't know that. And then what's funny is they made it legal, and then, of course, like any great government agency, by the way, you got to do A, B, C, and D after you do this. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. So that actually sounds legitimate to me, right? Hey, you can do it, but in order to do it, we're going to make you jump through 1,000 hoops. I've never actually had the desire to eat roadkill, but it's nice to know that in at least one state, I guess that's legal. I'm going to go with story number 3 and the hold Donald Trump part.
All right, you're going with story number 3. Well, the winner of round 2 and just the overall winner is Joe Jaquint.
Wow!
Hey now. The actual part of the story that was fake was not the Donald Trump portion of it, but the fact that he was a contractor and had voice support. But other than that, it was all Trump's fault that he got killed.
You're kidding me, right? They really they blamed him for that too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the immigration policies. That's his fault.
Well, I'm listening to myself losing again right now.
Well, Jason, I'll say this: no one loses like you, and this is why we're going to make changes to Fake News Friday and open this up. Glenn and I have been talking back and forth. The professor, we're working on it. We're trying to figure it out. I think we're going to get there. Give us a couple of more weeks. I know I was hoping. I got big dreams. Right, and I always think I can get things done faster than what's actually humanly possible. I was hoping to have everything ready to go by the beginning of the year. It looks like I'm going to be a few weeks late, but we're going to get there, right, Jason?
Yeah, we're going to get it done. It'll be great.
There you go. See, that's a ringing endorsement.
Well, if you'll let me get back to, I was finishing my roadkill burrito. I'm going to get back to finishing that right now.
There you go. Everybody, we'll be back with the news that is rocking the markets today when we return.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, presenting a daily conservative pro-family perspective since 1983 and continuing the legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. Now, from the Phyllis Schlafly Center Studios, Ed Martin.
As Congress convenes this week, we are still left to ponder some of the astoundingly out-there candidates that are now becoming congressmen. The new, younger, Democratic socialist face of the Democrat Party has flaunted their inexperience and general ineptness several times, even since the elections last November. One name that comes to mind is the New York socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. One of her most interesting bumbles before the end of the year came in the form of trying to justify the existence of a $32 trillion government healthcare system that is miserably failing. In trying to build off a report on Pentagon accounting from the far-left publication The Nation, Ocasio-Cortez made the erroneous claim that $21 trillion of Pentagon financial transactions could not be traced, documented, or explained. That means 66% of Medicare for All could have been funded already by the Pentagon. Now, there are many concerns about this statement. Does she not understand that even by her claim, she's referring to money already spent? What about the fact that she's seeking to replace a legitimate function of government, defense, with a function that is not, healthcare? But the most obvious problem, and the least political, is the sheer fact that these numbers can't even possibly be true. According to the Office of Management and Budget, the entire Pentagon budget from 1789 to 2018 has only totaled $18 trillion. There is simply no way that they have spent, let alone can't account for, $21 trillion. But these loony antics are nothing new from the now Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez or from her comrades. These new Democratic socialists repeatedly jump into arguments that must seem like good ideas, but without the facts and reasons, they simply crash and burn. Thankfully, not even mainstream media can keep the public eye off this train wreck. As these ridiculous factual errors and logical missteps continue, average Americans are quickly distancing themselves from the Democratic Party. Even old guard Democrats are stepping back, and the results for the DNC's future may just be catastrophic.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. In 2016, the conservative movement lost one of our strongest leaders, but Mrs. Schlafly's work and her voice continue through this radio program, our work in Washington, and the influence you have in your own community. Be part of that legacy at phyllisschlafly.com. We encourage you to bookmark phyllisschlafly.com and join us again for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
800-951-0592 is our toll-free number. Gold is down, $10. We had the government jobs report out today. And if that wasn't enough, we had the three talking heads of the central bank all together today Ben Bernanke, Janet Yellen, and Jay Powell. And they were doing a whole little made-for-TV deal where they can tell you how great they are. As one of our customers so eloquently put it, you can be like my friend that was here yesterday, who, really smart guy, hadn't bought any gold. Because, you know what? Hey, I do what I'm told. And let's face it, Americans, we like rules, and we like to be told what to do. I mean, I know, a lot of people out there, and I don't mean to sticker, but, hey, listen, we do. Tell me what the rules are, and I'll follow them. When are you going to realize if you want to take your power back, you own gold? Period. What is, and it doesn't matter from Hitler in Germany, which I hate referencing that, but as an example, to the closing of the banks in 1933, to the czars of Russia, to the Ming Dynasty in China. Those that have the gold make the rules. And if they don't have it, what do? They go take it. And the rest of us are just playing their game under their rules that seemingly change whenever they want them to. And now with these poor, I feel bad. Listen, I feel worse for my kids, but I feel bad for the boomers. You're not supposed to have your money in the stock market. You got a little bit, but every boomer I know, and listen, I don't know millions of boomers, but the ones I know, that's where it is. All in there. Because they're like, I got to get as much as I can. I can't buy a CD. My bank's not even giving me 2%. Right? Like everybody, I want to live a long time. I don't want to run out of money. Now you're just going to get creamed. Now the Dow was up 500, almost 600 points. It was down 660 yesterday. So we're going to do one of those things where again, this is the new normal, I guess, now, right? I mean, it's got to move hundreds of points every day. It's ridiculous. The government came out with its jobs number today. And I'm going to give you two sides. First of all, it was huge. Borderline not believable, but that's a different story. Okay, 312,000 jobs created, according to the number. I'm not laughing at that. That's fine. That's wonderful. But just like all this actually fits the pattern. And I hate to say that. All of these peaks since the central bank decided that they know how to run the game and basically go into this latent debt spiral. Right? You always get the same, right? You get the confidence and what I'll call the soft data all hit the peaks. And then right after that, the jobs market all hits the peaks. And then we start down. Right, to start that huge downswing, and we're already seeing like the soft data for December has actually been bad. But this was it. This was the peak for the jobs. We'll see. It could be a big revision. It doesn't matter. Take it. Let's take it. Great. But at the beginning of the show, I told you Trump's a genius. He's a lot of other things too. He's a flawed individual. But you know what? We just had this 300,000 jobs report. By the way, the unemployment rate jumped up 3.9%. Very indicative. Remember the Challenger Gray and Christmas. Layoffs are on the rise. Again, that's why I'm kind of telling you, it fits the picture. Wages, according to the way they like to do this, of 3.2% for the year. That's not good. This is why the central bank raises rates. But here we have the three talking heads, Bernanke, Yellen, Powell, all of them talking about, yeah, it's going to slow down. But he got Jay Powell to at least say, and I don't know the exact quote that he used, but something along the lines of, they're sensitive to the stock market. And I believe all of that was a nod to what Donald Trump has been doing. By the way, he says he does not have any meetings scheduled with the president, and no, he would not resign if he was asked. And again, these are guys that seemingly can't be fired without some evil doing, even if they're crappy at their job. And when you look at the actual data, so I looked, because I always like to look inside of it. Let me give you the good and the bad of it. There is only two segments of the population where there was actually more people working. 16 to 19-year-olds. And then the big number, the big increase, 55 and older. And of course, that just, to me, is like, okay, that's a lot of retail-type jobs. That's my guess. But nonetheless, actual employment for prime working years, that 25 to 44, actually went down. Less people. I don't know how that's possible. Maybe they got murdered. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. But that was inside the data. But nonetheless, I want to give Trump credit. Because and now listen, I actually still believe that they're going to raise rates again because they're not that smart. But at least he got him to say that he's flexible and that he's sensitive to Wall Street. But he is not, according to this, he is not resigning if Trump asks. I don't know why they're making this. First of all, Trump never asked. But that's what got Wall Street. Wall Street actually went down when the numbers came out and then went flying up when Dave Powell said he was sensitive to Wall Street. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. Dow is up 585, 590. Gold was down $17. It's now only down $8 and creeping. Here's what I'm going to do, because I'm not that smart and everything's just starting to dry up. Premiums are rising. We talked about that yesterday. We ran a $20 gold piece special. $13.95, 1 through 9, 10 through 19, $13.85, 20 or more, $13.75. I'm going to run the exact same thing, except I'm going to take $10 off. Buy this dip. And I'll say this. I'm going to run it that way until gold rallies all the way back. If it does, I'm going to change it. But right now, it's down $8. So I'm going to go for it. $20 gold pieces, 1 through 9, $13.85, 10 through 19, $13.75, 20 or more, $13.65. It's you know what, really, we needed some profit taking, so I think that was, number one, a good thing. Number two, this is it. They got enough, I believe, that they're going to raise rates again. They didn't say that today. They said they're going to be patient. But I'm going to say this, and I've already told you. Before 2019 is over, we're going to be talking about cutting rates, not raising them. Believe that. Listen to what Apple said yesterday. Listen to what Ford Motor said yesterday. General Motors said yesterday. Ford sales were down almost 10% for the month. Announced we're no longer good. They went General Motors. We're not doing monthly guidance anymore. I told you, General Motors, they started the last. We haven't heard from Ford today. It's coming. Car sales, housing data. There's more bad housing data today. I don't need to bore you with it. And you start to look in, and remember, I talked about crude oil again. Today, I was wondering where the oil inventory reports, they just hit about 25, 30 minutes. Well, right at the top when the show came out, they hit. Up 16 million barrels between gasoline, distillate, and oil, regular crude oil. Regular crude unchanged, right? The inventory of crude unchanged. But the gasoline and distillate stocks skyrocketed, and oil was trying to rally again today. It's still up $1, but it was up almost $2, coming back the other way. And again, this is a big, huge problem. Because the realities are now we're a nation that pumps, we're an oil producer. I mean, let's face it, we're number one. So this has a dramatic effect, and I told you what happens, right? They got to pay this debt, so they got to keep pumping. It's a vicious, horrible cycle. But at least for the day, I guess they wanted Jay Powell to have some few buddies around, so they got Janet Yellen out there. They got Ben Bernanke out there, and this is what I'm going to say to you guys. Do you really believe that these people are that smart? Really? You know, how do you think history is going to look at this? It depends on what history they want to report, right? Because we know, right? We love to rewrite history, don't we? So it models what we want it to be. And I'll use our friend that was here yesterday. He's the prime example. I worked hard his whole life. Did well, mate. Hey, he provided a nice living for his family. And he did. He put it, hey, they didn't give me a pension. Right? They took that away. But I put all that money in my 401k, and I never touched it. He was fortunate. Didn't have to borrow any of it. Was able to put it in there. Got himself a nice little nest egg. Now he sits there and says, man, I just got clobbered. In a matter of about 8 weeks, 9 weeks, he lost 20, 30% of his money. Just like that. And we laughed because I said, you know, it's the illusion that you have it. Right? Right? First of all, let's face it, 30% of what you got, you owe to the government. Now they just want to take another huge right and did the right thing, right? Hey, I got a financial guy and everything. Where was this financial guy? I mean, we've been talking about, and you see article after article about all the suppliers for Apple talking about this slowdown. This shouldn't have caught anybody off guard. Tim Cook is no Steve Jobs. Sorry. Think about it. When's the last real good product Apple actually put out? And I shouldn't say good. Their phones, you know, their stuff's good. But what I mean, it new, right? The Apple Watch, that was a dud. Apple TV, I don't even know if that even happened. And they're so heavily weighted, the Apples and the Amazons. Right, Amazon, get ready. Listen, they're going to unionize those workers because they're in the blue states now. That's when Amazon's going to learn like everybody else. You open up warehouses in New York and New Jersey and Illinois, yeah, they're going to unionize. Trust me on that. That sweetheart deal with the post office, that's coming to an end too. Doesn't mean they're not a great company still. Like Apple still makes a bunch of money, but not like they used to. We're not even supposed to be there, but now you have to. Right? They deliberately devalue the money, and we go along with it? History will not be kind to those people. Final segment coming up. Final segment, U.S. $20 gold pieces. Gold's now only down 7. It's going to make a liar out of me. Yesterday, we ran them $13.95, $13.85, $13.75. Today, $10 less. 1 through 9, $13.85. 9 through 19, or 10 through 19, $13.75. 20 or more, $13.65. And buy every single pullback you can ever get your hands on, at least for the next couple of years when it comes to gold. That's just what I think you should do. Silver, even more so. 800-951-0592. And again, they lie. They lie to us, and we let them. Guys that did it right when you weren't supposed to be there. This guy, he shouldn't have lost 30% of his money. Where was his financial advisor? I'm going to tell a story because I've been begging Eric to try to come on the air, and I think he's going to one of these days. But when I bought Patriot from Eric, we did the usual, he carried it, and then I did, win a couple of years, and then I was able to go out and get the SBA loan and pay him off. Well, when he did that, like anything else, there's tax implications, and so you do things to try to minimize your tax things, and he did, and he had a sum of money. He had a sum of money that he put with a financial advisor because he wanted to avoid his taxes. And then the advisor invested it in Wall Street like they do. And let's face it, last year he did real good. His money kept going up. He was all happy. Then it started falling. And somewhere and I want to say early November, maybe even been late October, Eric called the guy. And the guy was like, no, it's fine, don't worry, it's coming back, and blah, 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 blah. Dow fell a little bit more, got down to about 25,000. Eric called him up and said, sell it all. And you know what this financial advisor did? He got angry. Got insulting, right? Because you know what? Let's face it. I'm sorry. They want the commission. They do. But this is what they do to people. You're an idiot. You don't know what you're doing. And you're going to regret it. Right? And for Eric, he's like, thankfully, I'm a strong enough guy to stand up to these guys. I still ended up with more than what I started. But if he had left it in there right now, he would be losing money. But this is what they do. Remember, I'll say it again. I got this from a customer. It's not me. You want your power back. Buy gold. And I always say this, listen, I'm not telling you not to be in the stock market, right? Because you kind of, you got to be diversified and you got to have money, you got to pay your bills. But if you don't have gold in your portfolio, and believe me, if you buy paper gold, that's not gold. That's a gold fund with a big hole in the ground and some idiot standing above it. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. A whole week starting on Monday. Everybody rest up. Enjoy the weekend. Take care, and we'll be talking to you Monday.